I listen to the news every day. I follow the news every time, especially on radio when I'm driving to work. I follow the news on the radio. And yesterday I was listening to the news. I was listening to the news, and then I heard the trending story of the day. I was shocked when I heard the trending story of the day. And I'm sure most of you must have heard it, especially from the title of this video. You can tell where I'm going to. But let's just take a look at what the shocking trend of the day sounded like and what it looked like. Yeah, let's take a look at the video.
Particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues.
Distinguished, please, I don't think this is a good idea, go in this direction. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea, please.
Well, this is funny, but it is not funny. This is serious. This is terribly serious. Now, for starters, for those of you who might not really understand what the implication of this is, let me first of all explain some things. First of all, Senator Adamu Muhammed Bilkachuwa is the present senator serving as representing the Bauchi North Senatorial District. He's a present senator. Now, this statement was made at the valedictory session of the Senate. The outgoing Senate had a valedictory session, and then every principal members of the Senate and senators were given opportunity to speak, and so he made that statement when it was his turn to speak. Now, his wife is not just a justice or a retired or former justice of the Court of Appeal. His wife was the president of the Court of Appeal between 2014 and 2020. She was the president of the Court of Appeal between 2014 and 2020. Now, if you must understand the implication of this statement, what's so disturbing and what's so shocking about this statement made by the distinguished senator is that first of all, as the president of the Court of Appeal, you are responsible for the entire administration of the Court of Appeal in all the divisions in Nigeria. Every division of the Court of Appeal in Nigeria is subject to your administration. You are the #1 justice of the Court of Appeal in Nigeria. Your influence is that wide because you're responsible for administering the Court of Appeal. You're responsible for choosing judges or justices that will sit in which division or what division. You are responsible for transferring. You're responsible for ensuring that, okay, so you can choose which justices sit on what cases. That's the truth. And now you must understand that for election petitions in Nigeria, because the essence of this video is to show the implication of this statement on the ongoing Election Petition Tribunal that is going on right now, PDP and Labour Party suing INEC and the ruling party challenging the election. Now, you must understand that for the Election Petition Tribunals going on, the president of the Court of Appeal is the justice that has the highest say, or perhaps, the highest say in choosing which justice sits on the panels that oversee the tribunals. So you must understand that Justice Zainab Adamu Bulkachuwa sat over at least 2 Presidential Election Petition Tribunals, or at least from 2014 to 2020, she oversaw and chose the justices that will sit on Election Petition Tribunals. This is important because from the statement of the senator, he says not just himself benefited from his encroachment of the independence and freedom of his wife, but also many of his colleagues, senators, also benefited from the encroachment on the freedom and independence of Justice Bulkachuwa. This is important. It's crazy because if he benefited from influencing his wife, and many other senators benefited from his influence on his wife, it means we must question every high-profile decision that came out of the Court of Appeal between 2014 and 2020, especially decisions that came from election petitions. decisions that involved high-ranking public figures, especially senators and representatives of the National Assembly. We must question those decisions. We must review them. Because if we say we are fighting corruption, and we cannot start from the judiciary, we need to start from the judiciary. In fact, in my opinion, every justice on the present Court of Appeal sitting as a justice of the Court of Appeal sitting over the present election petition tribunals, every of them must recuse themselves from those cases, especially the ones that involve senators of the Federal Republic. They must recuse themselves from those cases because it means that we need to question those decisions. If this woman had influence, if this woman had influence over the justices of the Court of Appeal to the point that she influenced decisions that came involving senators, the present justices of Court of Appeal, the present president of Court of Appeal was under her influence. He was definitely under her influence. The present president of Court of Appeal was definitely under her influence. And it means that we cannot trust the system. It's difficult to trust the system right now. It's difficult. It's difficult to trust the system. And you see, our present or current First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, yeah, you had it right, Senator. She was former 7th Senator of the Federal Republic. The question is, did she also benefit? Did she benefit from Bulkachuwa's, you know what I'm saying? Did she also benefit? That's the point. This is why I say the present justices sitting in the tribunal should recuse themselves. The present president of the Court of Appeal should resign. And if this government is serious, there should be an order of investigation into Justice Bulkachuwa's time during 2014 and 2020. Criminal investigation. Criminal investigation. Because this what gives the senator such brazen boldness to come on national television at the valedictory session of the Senate to make bold himself and say that yes, he is glad that he benefited from encroaching on the independence and the freedom of his wife while she was president of the Court of Appeal. It means we do not have any independence of the judiciary in Nigeria. That's the truth. Because we've seen situations where a former governor of a state went ahead to get an order of court perpetually restraining the EFCC from investigating him. And his wife was a justice of the Supreme Court. So I think we're in a very dicey situation. And this is the reason why I think that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal would decide the case in favor of INEC and the ruling party. This is why I think so. They should prove me wrong. They should perform a miracle. Because in Nigeria, doing the normal thing seems like a miracle to perform. So they should prove me wrong and perform a miracle. And here was I thinking of coming up, because in a previous video I had said, I doubt the system, I doubt the process because I think there will be technical justice. And I had been researching and looking at the cases of all the parties and trying to bring out some technicalities that I think that the court will rely upon to uphold the election. Here was I doing all that, not knowing that the real reason could be that someone has an influence over the justices. It's clear. I'm not saying something that is not clear. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm saying the fact. Someone on national television made bold to say he influenced justices of the Court of Appeal. And what can I say? It's obvious. It means even the present justices have been influenced or could have been influenced. It's possible. There's a 100% possibility that the present justices of the Court of Appeal, especially those sitting on the Election Petition Tribunal, Presidential Election Petition, and even all the tribunals, they must have been influenced. And if they've been influenced, what hope do we have? What hope do we have? They say the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. I don't think so anymore. I do not think so anymore. I do not think so anymore. My urge on the president, order an investigation, arrest whoever is found wanting. Let's see how we can start to clear the name of the judiciary in Nigeria. Do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Talk is cheap. Precious Eda is my name. Ciao. God bless you.